Welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. So let me show you this unique video where we talk about these boxes here, these external crossover boxes as they are called. I think it's a brilliant idea. I don't know if this is an Audionaut thing that only they do it or other manufacturers also do it, but I just find it to be such a cool idea to take all the shizzle magizzle in the speaker, put it in a separate box. Yeah, it might not look good, it might not be Wi-Fi friendly, it might be a bit of extra vibration and whatever, but I just find that this is a unique opportunity to just do something that's different. So I'd actually like to see other manufacturers doing a similar thing. Also because since we have these boxes here, you can actually manipulate the sound. You don't just have to settle with a certain type of sound. You can have several different lengths of cable affecting the sound, several different types of cables, and that's basically what this video is about. Giving you an idea of what I would do to improve the sound. So this cable, as you can see here, that's this gray stuff here. And what I find with these external boxes is that compared to the regular speaker where all the parts is inside the speaker, I just find that there's more oomph to the sound, more pressure, more bass, perhaps a bit more depth. I think there is a bit more depth because it's usually also more expensive, but there's just this, more like, so it just feels like it's pressurizing the room a lot more and being more stable, having more slam, and we all like that type of stuff. And my ideas here to improving the sound, quite interesting. This comes with the speaker, this cable here. You can't change this on the speaker, so it gets connected here, and instead of and you can see inside it's the same cable, but then instead of continuing the sound and probably getting a sound that is a bit, I don't know, a bit too warm, a bit too top heavy, whatever, then the user actually decided to take a better Audionaut cable that was silver to kind of give it more detail, give it more 3D, just kind of elevate the sound a bit more. And I just find that fascinating, because you could actually also just shorten this down, give it a lot more grip and resolution and tightness in case you felt that it was perhaps just a tiny bit loose in sound. So I just find this whole concept to be very fascinating, that potentially you could, because you have these boxes, because it's a more expensive speaker, because there's so much mass, that you could actually potentially go with some pretty short cables that are better but still the same religion of sound, and then improve on that. So I just wanted to, that's the whole purpose of this video, to give people insight to that world so they can play with it, so they don't just have to think that, okay, I have this box, I have to have a certain type of cable, or I use my own cable, whatever. It's just to spark some ideas so people can play with it. And of course you can put it on these external crossover filters. You can put it on a thing like this, which is also a fascinating thing. Look at my Peter Bruninger video to get some inspiration for that. And don't forget, people that really want to fine-tune their sound and get that last bit of edge, tone, separation, really, that detail within the detail within the detail, I find that these things are just so underrated. But you only want to do it at a certain level. If you're focusing with some on some very low level gear, I wouldn't even bother thinking about stuff like this. But once you get into the higher levels, you definitely want to mess around with stuff like this. This is pretty damn good. Expensive, yeah, pretty expensive, but really, really good idea. And just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, crossover, internal, that just means in the speaker, external. So we have to get all the way up to here. This is the audio note hierarchy of the top A and E line. This is how it currently looks in 2021. It's just fascinating, you know. Internal, and apparently when you get to this level here, audio note E, LX, then you get this external box, and just fascinates me. I wish I have this. No, I have. Which one do I have? Damn it, can't even find my own. Okay, I have this one, audio note E, SPHE, internal. But if I had the same model here, but in the signature version, I would have an external box, which is fascinating. So basically, you're going from a smaller room type of speaker, basically having the same type of sound, I would guess, with more pressure, more power, more oomph, more ease. So that would really be cool one day to get this. Or there are of course several other levels above that. That would be cool to get one day. And apparently at this level here goes back to being internal, which is fascinating. Internal, and then here at this level, external again. So I think that if I had to upgrade, I don't think it would be enough for me having the external box. I think that would make me, you know, temporarily more happy, but I think that I would actually, you know, start to like you say in Danish, for blod på tanden, get a taste of the really good stuff, wanting me to actually go all the way up to here. I remember this audio note SEC signature. That's a pretty sick speaker. It really has a lot of pressure, and I remember. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because when you go from these hemp drivers, you know, these normal, I wouldn't call it normal drivers, but these paper normal magnet drivers, hemp they call them apparently. When you go over to the El Nico ones, El Nico or however you pronounce them, I generally notice that the sound it changes a bit. And when I say changes, it's a bit difficult to describe, but I would say that you get a sense of more depth. Somehow there's just more detail, more pressure. It's a bit less bobbity boop, and there's this sort of feeling that you're getting more bandwidth. A bit like, I would say a bit more like a traditional $1, $2, $3, $4 million speaker, you know, where you just, it's hard to describe. Sorry guys, but I just feel that there's more bandwidth, there's more depth. Some people don't necessarily like the priority of this sound, and then they'll take some of the lower ones. I have a friend who actually prefers this lower model that I have. I also, in a way, kind of prefer that sound. It is different, you know, it is very different. I would say that the speaker that I have here, I feel, this is just my personal opinion, but I feel that it's in a way more fast and violent and boppity boppity boop, where it can be a bit difficult for perhaps some few people to fully mentally zoom in to that sound, and they would want a perhaps a bit more of a traditional, really expensive type of sound that kind of gives the feeling of more bandwidth, more depth, more pressure, a lot more bass, a lot more power. I get it. I like both of them. I have a hard time making up my mind what I like more. I think that overall I like this more, simply because we're going over to silver components, you know. This, what I have here, is basically copper. I still think that it's other copper parts except for the cable, and of course the terminals are of course also silver. But I feel that once you get into this type of sound where everything is slowly turning into silver, not only are you getting more detail, but the stability, the pressure, the bandwidth, there's like a whole other level of warmness that just seems more real than with the copper parts. So yeah, so I know some few people, they don't like the flow of this speaker because it's just so fast, so in your face, for some of them, some few people. And I think one of my hi-fi friends, the one with the streamer, he's not so crazy about the sound, but once we start getting into this sound, then he actually starts liking it a lot more. That is what I noticed. He hasn't heard this model, but he heard the El Nico model. Where the hell is that? I think it was around here, below that. Yeah. So he kind of liked that a bit more. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. I find this fascinating, this whole hierarchy. And I haven't yet to this date heard the Soto. I would really like to, because I heard the Sogon and it was just like best ever speaker I heard in my life. Just ridiculous, you know. So yeah, unlock my videos to get more videos. And I like this idea. It's a bit like with TVs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Pioneer KRP-A TV, but I think they outphased that TV in the olden days. So you would have like a TV here. Let's just say this was a TV, and then you would have an external box to that TV that's called Pioneer KRP-A. And I thought that was just a fantastic idea. Why didn't they continue that? But apparently that there isn't a huge demand for that on the market, because we live in this age where you're not supposed to look at cables, you're not supposed to have huge things that fill the place, you know, it's supposed to be clean and wife friendly and all of that. But that really frustrated me. So if you ever want to look up basically the best Pioneer TV ever, Pioneer Kuro KRP-A, they had this similar idea here, where they would take the signal from what was inside and then just put it in a box outside. And I feel that that does something with the sound. It changes the sound, so I feel it's better. I feel it's overall better. And yeah, that would be cool if TV manufacturers could go back to that. And they did that with the KRPA Pioneer Kuro television around 2009. I think that was the last model that they made, at least in Europe. I really wanted that TV. You know, still to this day, I still feel it's one of the best television sets out there. Even though the black level is far from the new LED TVs, but that's yeah, a topic for a whole other video. So I hope that helped you guys on yeah, kind of sniffing to this whole new world of external boxes. So maybe one day I'll be lucky to get one of those bigger models. You never know. So this is me logging off, and have a nice day.